Hello. I guess this is gonna be my first audio log of my, my life. I guess. So let me start off with. My name is Timothy Hong, but that's not always have been my name. I migrated to America in 1979 from Vietnam as a both refugee. After 1975, the fall of Saigon, a lot of us if your family have anybody that worked with the previous government, the South Vietnam government, or working with an American company or anything that involved with either one of them, you are at risk of getting prosecuted by the communists that just took over the South Vietnam. So my dad, because he was kind of like a manager / interpreter for this one small contractor company that what the boss do is buy a bunch of old refrigerator, air conditioner from the United States, and then recondition them and then bring it to Vietnam and sell it to to either South Vietnam government or to the American military base that was in Vietnam. So my dad made a pretty good money when he was working there. As a matter of fact, he makes so much money that later on he opened up his own construction little company that do contract work for the government, building road, fixing road, to maintain the road. But before that, let's talk about my dad. He was born in 1930 in North Vietnam in a little city called Nam Định. I don't even know where it is on the map, but in Vietnam, whenever you go somewhere, you talk to somebody, you kind of address and tell them what little town you from, so then they know. So he's from Nam Định, and my mom also is in northern part. She was born in 1933, and her village name is Bắc Ninh. So as you know, Vietnam was colonized by the French, for like almost 100 years. So during 1945 to 1954, that's when the Communist Party took over, and then, they have some kind of peace agreement between the French and the North Communists, and they hand it over to them. So there's a short period of time that they allow anybody that wanted to migrate into the South, because they divide the country into two parts, North and South. So the North is controlled by the communists, and the South is controlled by the Republic of Vietnam, which is, a puppet government for American government anyway, for American anyway. But in 1954, they allow a mass migration from the North to the South. So my parents migrate down, whatever you can. You either take the boat or you take the airplane. So my mom, she have 3 sisters together. Actually, she have 2 sisters, all total 3 sisters. So they ended up moving down to a little city in the middle of Vietnam called Nha Trang. But literally what it meant is it was supposed to be Nhà Trắng, which is like the White House right next on the beach. There's a little White House on the beach, so they call it Nhà Trắng. I don't know how it else become Nha Trang, but that's how or during that time, I guess my mom, she's young, you might realize she left her mom. Well, actually, her dad was prosecuted by the communists in the north. So the sister ran away from there. So you here you are, you're moving from somewhere else to a new, part of the country that you have no relative. So they struggle. They work odd job and job just to get by. And I guess my mom met this French soldier, and somehow she got pregnant with his child, but his mom doesn't want my mom to go back to France with him, so he abandoned her. Here she is, 20-something, with a child in her belly, and get abandoned. But my mom did the greatest thing that a woman can do is she's continued to have her, and then she give it to somebody else, give it up to somebody else instead of abort her. But then luckily later on, after she gave birth to my half sister, somebody introduced her to my dad, and that's how they met. For a while, my dad was working for some back then he was really young, he 20-something. So he worked for a company that, actually it's an American company, because he can speak a little bit of, he speaks fluent in French, but a little bit of English. So he worked for this company that building road up in that part of that's middle Vietnam there. And then after they married my wife, my mom, they moved down to Saigon, which is the capital of South Vietnam. I guess actually before that, before they had me, my mom had a twin, but my twin sister was born premature. And back then in the 60s, they don't have the fancy equipment like they have nowadays to keep the baby alive to full term. So they end up losing my twin sister. And then they moved down to Saigon. That's when she had me. I was born in 1964. And that's exactly when my dad worked for that American guy that bought all those refrigerator and AC to recondition them. Yeah, he made a lot of money during that time. And even, back then, since America is like helping the South Vietnam Army to fight the war, to keep the communists from coming down to the South. So they always, send help, money-wise, material, all kind of stuff, rice. So, but a lot of stuff that's going from United States to, they didn't go straight to Vietnam, so they go towards Thailand. And then they have to bring it from Thailand to Vietnam, to Saigon. So his boss tell my dad, hey, I have a little gig for you to do. All you have to do is coordinate how to get this pile of rice towards Saigon where it's supposed to be. So he made a lot of money. My dad so when my dad makes so much money that my mom always going up buy like gold leaf, like 1 ounce gold leaf, and save them away. Every time she have enough money for one gold leaf, she go buy it and stash them away. At one point, they have almost 200 ounces of gold. So Dad figured, I'm tired of doing this. So that's why he branched out and quit and opened his own construction contracting to go fix the road. Road. He had about maybe 3 employees that work for him. Cause all they do is go fix whatever wrong. Like sometimes they have pothole or section of road like really bad, so they go and fix that. And sometimes they have big project like putting down water pipe, main water pipe, or drain pipe, stuff like that. And he was doing good, really good money. And then when the fall of Saigon in 1975, when you doing contract, you always upfront your money to build or fix whatever suppose, and then after the job is finished, then the government would pay you, right? But since the South Vietnam government flat, and the North came in April 30th, 1975, it's a new government. So my dad went and asked them if they're gonna pay for what he fixed the road already. And you know what they say? They say, why don't you follow the South Vietnam and ask them to pay you? And if you give us the first, we should just arrest you and throw you in jail. So my dad just gave up, and you know what? So he went home and talked to my mom, like, we need to get out of this country. This become dangerous here to live here. Oh, let me go back. The reason he was able to speak English well, because during that turmoil between 1954 to 1960, something like that, in that time range. But he got arrested for political issue for like almost a year. So during that time, when he was in jail, he told my mom to buy him a bunch of English, I think back then they called English for Today or something like that. But he self-taught himself English, because he already speak French fluently already. So all he had to do is just learn the English, the grammar, and the vocabulary, and he teach himself. Yeah. Because back in the old day, when the French colonized Vietnam, all the school is taught in French. So, but my dad generation, even my mom, they all speak, French. Not fluently, but good enough, All right, I think that's enough for today. I'm gonna catch you again on the next recording.